have a very warm welcome to the show, the Mayor of Wellington, until, it's about 4 months to go, Mayor Tory Whanau. Kia ora, Ms. Mayor. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good, man. Is that what they say? Is it Ms. Mayor? Mrs. Mayor? What do they call you?
Her worship.
Her worship.
Oh, that carries a bit more weight.
Yeah, a little bit more weight with that one. Yeah. It's like in America how they keep all their titles. So Rudy Giuliani, they still call Mr. Mayor for some reason. He's been the mayor for about 22 years, and Mr. Mayor, whatever it's been.
It's weird.
It is a weird one, isn't it? Hey, thanks for joining us. We want to have you on because your name has been in the headlines again for the past week or so for what it seems that we were joking about Trump uniting America. It seems that Ray Chung has somewhat united the political world because it seems that every political leader has come out denouncing him, maybe, but more so what he has said. So, it's like Winston and David Seymour uniting Māori in New Zealand in the last, it seems to be a way they can get together. But also, there is news today about the local government officials speaking to, mayors and other local representatives, and you were there. So if it's okay with you, I'd like to start with a short clip from 3 News. Mr. Bishop didn't seem very happy with you guys. Let's have a little play of this and then get your assessment of what this hui was all about.
Not everything you do has to be an architectural masterpiece. I still find myself trying to convince councils of basic economics. New Zealanders question your licence to lead. Many district and regional plans put a chokehold on local economies. Time for excuses is over. Not everything you do has to win awards for being the most sustainable or the most innovative or the most beautiful. The consents your planning departments issue are too complex. Gold plating is out. You have an opportunity to right the wrongs of the past. New Zealanders have serious questions about the performance of local government.
Always a bold move to insult your hosts. The Housing, Transport, Infrastructure and RMA Reform Minister appearing to tease local government New Zealand too.
You should see this as an opportunity. Love LGNZ. Happy to spend time.
But if there was any love, it wasn't reciprocated by some.
I have to restrain myself here because it's quite overwhelming for someone who's quite environmentally focused to actually have the carpet pulled from under our feet.
We're not cutting out the rug under you when it comes to environmental management.
The mood tense because central government is about to tell local government how to do its job and put it into law.
We're actually introducing, therefore, the Local Government Systems Improvement Amendment Bill to Parliament.
The government...
I thought it would have been something like local government done good. Isn't that what they normally do? Something done well or getting back to local government, or that seems to be their usual headlines.
Reasons for the bill include rapidly rising rates, a lack of fiscal discipline, not using alternative financing tools, and funding things that stray away from core services.
All right, we're going to stop it just there because I actually think I need an interpreter to what those things frickin' mean, and we have the Mayor of Wellington with us. Maybe the first question could be, Tory, what are they talking about with these things? Like, for example, not using alternative financing tools. Does that mean they want you to put more on the credit card? What are they even talking about? And how was the day with the Prime Minister and the Bish?
Yeah, so it's not dissimilar to what they've been saying for the last year or so, and it was quite interesting. So there were 3 speeches. There was a pre-record by the Prime Minister, which was incredibly mediocre. So he couldn't even show the respect to show up. And there must have been about 400 people in the room. About 5 or 6 people clapped at the end because of that. We were just so unimpressed.
Yikes.
This is the leader of our country, and it was very, very average. Bish came in. He was very strong-handed, gave us a bit of a telling off, a dressing down, bit of humour. Some of the planning rules that he was talking about weren't bad, to be honest, and a lot of them enable high-density housing in the city, which is good. But the entire tone of the speech was very anti-localism. You're not doing what we're saying. We're going to force it on you. So the creation of possible legislation to, they say, streamline the rules a bit more, but it's more about them imposing their view on what back to basics means. So the total removal of the wellbeing. So that means limited investment in the arts, mental health initiatives, some environmental measures, cycle lanes, that sort of thing. So it was very much all a back to basics chat. They're starting to narrow what back to basics means. We had the local government minister then finish off with his speech. It was a lot nicer. He repackaged basically the same speech, but in a very nice way. So it's like we had the three of the same speech, but said very differently, but not very empowering for local government, I would say.
I don't get it though as well, because if you're saying, you didn't use these words, but they're being pretty anti-localizing local government, yet then on the other hand, they've done everything they can to not allow 3 kinds of water to become centralized. So they want it localized. What about the tertiary institutions? They've done a lot of work to make sure they don't get centralized. They want them localized. And you're saying when it comes to actually legislation, they're giving off an air of not wanting that localized. What's going on? It seems a bit hypocritical, maybe?
Well, and we had a couple of mayors there going, what does this actually mean? A lot of waffling around with their answers. But it kind of also felt like, now, again, Bish, I agree with his rules around removing heritage protections and enabling more housing, not on social housing, that sort of stuff. But it just feels like what this government doing is constantly deflecting from the failure of their policies. So you'll see in the paper today, the Prime Minister yet again has cracked down on Wellington City for low economic activity, even though there have been massive job losses as a result of the public service cuts. But he deflects to Wellington Council, and it's like, we've done what you've said. We've invested the highest amount ever in water infrastructure. We're going to meet all the deadlines. We're trying to upkeep our above ground infrastructure. We're trying to build more homes, yet you still seem to. It just feels like that sort of behaviour of a bully. Things aren't going their way within the coalition. They've got the 2 worst coalition partners who keep going off and doing whatever they want, and in response, instead of pulling their coalition partners into line, they have a crack at local government. And it's just getting exhausting.
They're trying to it's like beat the dog, hit the dog that they can get their hands on. And it was, we had a really good breakfast this morning with Tracy Martin, and she obviously went through a lot working for New Zealand First. She's a fantastic minister, and she had a reflection saying, and she said up front, this government doesn't respect local government. You're too, stop being nice to the government because they're just going to keep ordering you around. And that is absolutely correct. So it is a very unequal partnership at the moment. Okay. Let's just have a look at the last part of the story, because we just get the final words from the PM, but also I think Chloe or Marama have a bit of a word about this local government issues as well. Let's have a listen.
We don't want to see $2.5 million toilets that do light shows. We don't want to see cycle lanes that actually aren't, in the wrong part of town.
But it's not going down well.
Communities have different things that they believe are nice to have, and have views around what needs to be done locally to shape our places. And that should be up to the communities to decide, not up to Central Wellington.
In 2023, Luxon criticised the Labour government for centralising things like 3 waters.
It's because the government's not listening to councils and communities who don't want it.
On the 2023 election campaign, you were all about local councils making local decisions and not being dictated by Wellington, but isn't that exactly what you're doing now?
No, we've got many great local councils up and down this country.
This is a government that campaigned on and talked a heck of a lot about localism, then has spent its entire time in office punching down on local decision making.
Local government is very transparent. Central government, on the other hand, runs cabinet meetings where they're closed. We don't see the papers that are there.
A governance power struggle in need of a refreshment break.
Doors always open, always happy to have a conversation and a cup of tea and talk about all sorts of different things.
And possibly a lie down after a day of Minister Bish not beating around the bush.
I just personally, Lloyd, you need to get away from those endings. Like something in Lloyd's just spirit that wants to do a pun or a connection in those endings. So there you go. I don't know if you'd seen those comments from the Prime Minister. I find it ironic as well that we look at places like Napier and we go, one of the things that's amazing about Napier is their Art Deco culture.
Yes,
of building
exactly.
something of the era and still keeping it till today. If they had had this national government when the earthquake went through Napier, it would be, I don't know what it would be now, the worst square. It would be Dunedin Hospital. Hey, Chewie, the worst square, ugliest thing you've ever seen.
Yes.
I think the national government would have invented brutalism in the 30s.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And so you look at that though, and you kind of go, well, putting an extra $1 here or there. I sometimes look at buildings and I go, they've spent such a lot of money in just making that curve when it could have been straight, but there's something about it that makes it look amazing. And this government's like, nothing, what we always say to you, you're not allowed to have nice things. Chloe said the opposite, we want to have nice things. So sorry, you go, Tory.
No, sorry. Yeah, character's actually, and characters for me is not the same as heritage, but character is important. So I was just walking down a couple of laneways in Christchurch, and some of their laneways, they look incredible. And you could argue that, according to this government, some of those upgrades are nice to haves because they relate to art, they relate to the city's character. But what frustrates me the most is that, cities, Wellington City, Christchurch, we were elected to deliver certain decisions. I was pro cycleways and pro transport, blah, blah, blah. So the people decided they want a full cycleway network, and he keeps referring it to gold-plated. It's not. We've actually cut $40 million from the cycleway program and saying nobody wants these cycleways. They literally voted for them.
Yeah.
It's a couple of loud objectors and council agitators that are saying, look, they're putting businesses out. I think there was a bakery that went under and blamed cycleways, and they weren't near one. Like there'd been no work done around them. Yeah,
it's ridiculous. They're part of, and it's people like those bakeries, the same councillors. They were part of the 90s in Wellington City, where things were lower cost and had a particular vibe. But we've moved on from that. Those businesses haven't grown with the diverse audience that we now have in Wellington City. So that particular bakery was like 30 years old. No one cares about an average croissant anymore. They kind of want their oat lattes and their gluten-free multi-whatever sandwich. That's just what our, we may be a bunch of hipsters in Wellington, but it's who we are, and we want food to service us. And there's a particular generation who is not accepting that as part of the times.
Oh, I just think that sounds like the good name for a bakery, food to service you. I think there's quite a nice tinge to it. Hey, I would like to move on to this other conversation that I, to be honest, don't really know how to approach because it all seems a bit sordid and icky from Mr. Ray Chung. Chewie, maybe you want to even lead some of this because you've kind of been reading up on this more than I have. Do you want to start off with some thoughts and comments and questions about it?
Yeah, this has been spectacular to follow. Just because you very rarely get a case study of just an individual who doesn't know what an apology was, doesn't think that he's done anything wrong, wants to blame anybody else that's brought attention to what he's done, and a week into it still doesn't get what's going on, but thinks that he is the man that should be leading Wellington. I heard over the weekend that that his full and frank apology was coming out on Sunday. So when it dropped on Vimeo, of all places, I rushed to get it. And this is the image that greeted me, and I had second thoughts. But I watched it, and it is just a masterclass in a non-apology. I would love to have been in the room where he's gone, I think I know how to fix this, guys. What do you think? And I imagine that there was a chorus of 15 to 20 people going, don't do that. No, stop. And it's gone up anyway. So yeah, this is an absolute disaster. And I think it's a disaster for any right-leaning voters in Wellington. It's destroyed. Like he was in his independent together ticket was supposed to be the way for the right, and I think he has just exploded the whole thing.
Maybe we play that apology for those who haven't seen it. But first of all, can we just go through the timeline of what's happened? So, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Tory. Sometime in the past, Ray Chung received an email with an accusation, a sordid accusation, I think that's all we need to say, towards you, and possibly illegal, because there's talk of drug use being in there as well. And he fired that off to, I think, 3 councillors, God knows why. On Plunkett's show, that was one of the questions, to his credit, that Plunkett was asking him, even if this did happen, what's it got to do with you, kind of thing. And then that email at some stage between when he sent it and this weekend made its way back to you. Now, explain to us, when you received it, how did it then get to the public eye? Did you release that? What happened there?
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, the main thing is, over the last 2.5 years, I knew that him and Nicola Young had both been spreading rumours of this nature for me the entire time, different variations. In fact, when I was just a mayoral candidate, I was called by the Don Post saying, hey, we heard you got drunk at the backbencher and punched someone in the face. I was like, well, that didn't happen. I mean, I was there. I'd been drinking. Then the story changed, and they were like, you sexually assaulted someone. So that began this kind of campaign.
Can I pause you? I don't, because I want to ask a serious question as someone who sort of works in the pseudo media.
Yeah.
Did they say you sexually assaulted someone, or did they say we have heard allegations that this may have happened? Would you like? I'm just saying.
Yeah. We've heard.
Okay, all right. No, just because if a journalist said that to me, I was like, well, hang on, what are you reporting on here, or are you telling me? Okay, so they did the whole, there is a rumor that, okay, gotcha.
Yep, and then, but because there was no evidence to, substantiate that, so it was let go. But that had become a regular occurrence my entire term. Then we saw the Havana bar incident where I got a bit boozed, and no, it was a Saturday night, whatever. That then turned into a rumor about a sex tape, which where Nicola Young went on the platform and they described it in detail. Did not exist. Did not happen. I had 10 witnesses, including the bar manager, to say that. The upsetting thing about that was that RNZ still reported it, even though we denied it. So, and then that's the start of my mayoralty. I heard probably about 4 months ago that someone had this email as written evidence that of this rumor. I said I didn't want to see it. I have no interest. I've been ignoring these rumors all term. I don't want to know. But then 2 weeks ago, the rumors started ramping up again in quite a significant way. So we now have 3 people putting out these sexual rumors again. So I'm having to defend myself again. And I thought, okay, this is garbage. This is terrible politics. This is these fringe groups, not just doing this to me, but doing it to other elected members as well. This is unacceptable. So I asked for that email from someone that I knew who had it. Okay. And they gave it to me. And I'll never name who that person is, but I requested it. And then, I spoke to a close friend who's very well versed in politics. We talked about the best way to approach it. We saw another mayoral candidate put up sexual allegations about me, as well as that report written by Rhys Williams about Labour candidates. And we thought this is the time. So I gave it to David Fisher and said, this is an elected member. He's running for mayor. I don't think he is fit to lead the city. It's election time. I need people to know. I also want people to know that this is part of a wider system. We've got Better Wellington. We've got Voices for Freedom, who are all doing this. And it's unacceptable. It is a complete danger to our democracy. I sat on it for a few days because I thought, for a few days, people are going to be talking about my breasts. It is a horrible thing to think of, but I thought I will just take one for the team because people need to know. These people do not belong in local government or central government. So that's what this is. I'm going to keep pushing it because these people are horrible. And I've even spoken to people in the National Party who are just like, wow, thank you. And I'm like, well, pick a better candidate. if he were to lead the city, it would be completely dangerous. And I just could not let that happen.
I got to say, I don't know anything about Ray Chung, but he came across like a fucking moron on Plunkett's show, like as in someone without a brain cell, like not knowing how to answer a question or speak a sentence. That is my honest hell belief, defamation lawyers. He came across like a fucking moron. I do have one question about the story you just told us, though. You said, what's her name, Nicola Young? Is that the name?
Yes. Yeah.
And you used the word in detail. She described in detail something that never happened. So where did the detail come from?
I don't know. Joel McManus did a report and said that that particular rumour originated from Better Wellington. I don't know. And I had lawyers approach me saying you could have her and Sean Plunkett up for defamation, but I was a new mayor. I wanted it to go away. I didn't nearly have enough fire then as I do now. And look, that's okay, because now we have about 2 years of material to really prove that these people are unfit to lead or govern.
Does it also mean you've got 2 years of material for defamation, should you want to do that?
Yes.
Do you want to do that?
Yes. Probably not till after the election. Yeah.
Are you going to do that?
I have a lawyer.
Okay. Is this news that's not yet known in the public arena?
I've said to journalists that I've engaged a lawyer. I'm getting advice. I'm probably not going to pursue that until after the election, because that's just my own personal thing. But I wanted people to know, to highlight that, one, none of this is true, these rumours, but also we have to show that we're now willing to push back against this behaviour. So I wanted to make it clear to people like Ray, people like Graham Bloxham, people like Nicola Young, I'm not going to take this anymore, and I'm going to be encouraging other wahine, other progressive politicians. We have to fight back now, because it's actually gone beyond. A few years ago, we used to be like, just block trolls, just block them online, it'll be fine. These trolls are now standing for local body. Blocking them is no longer an option. We actually have to take them to court. It's a tragedy, but hence the email passing on. And I am delighted it is going the way that it is.
Okay. Well, Ray Chung came out straight after it saying that this is all political and this is an attack politically. That was his first reaction. But yeah, true. But by the end of the weekend, he offered this apology, which we've got to play if we want to. But Chewie, before we do that, you want to pick up on anything Tory's just
said? I just want to make a little point of clarification. You mentioned the backbencher allegations that something happened to the backbencher. You've also mentioned Better Wellington. I'm right in thinking that the owner of the backbencher is involved with Better Wellington?
Yes, he is. He's the campaign manager for Independent Together. It is. What all a connected.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it is a big, like, I actually had no idea. I knew it was all connected. I didn't realize it was this connected. And now we're seeing links between this and Vision for Wellington as well. Kerry Prendergast is in Vision for Wellington. Her husband was a member of Better Wellington. So it's just kind of like, it's all a bit sus.
Yeah. If you hear, and I think it was Ruth Richardson when we first heard this, Chewie, what is it? Cap rates? Cap rates or zero cap rates? That's the line. Capping rates at zero or something. That's the line. If you hear that line, that's the Ruth Richardson ACT influence, Atlas tie-in. That's going to go through all of the candidates throughout the whole country. We should do a little billboard of all the people. BHN Whanau can do this, of who say that or have that in their plan, and we can draw up a big spreadsheet of them all to show everyone who are the people who are connected together. Listening to Mr. Seymour say in the last couple of days as well, starting to say you should vote for your ACT local candidate, then shouldn't you? So that's interesting that there's politicking coming from the Deputy Prime Minister's office for local body politics as well. Part of me goes, I don't know if I really want to give this Ray Chung second of airtime so as to not play it. But Chewie, I haven't seen the apology. Chewie, you've seen it. What do you think? Play it, not play it?
Play it.
Please play
okay.
it.
Okay.
Please play it. And
So
this is just to set the scene.
Oh, it's like, mwah.
You're a 72-year-old man whose
72?
whose neighbour has apparently told his neighbour's walked up to you while you're walking your dog or whatever and said, "Hey mate, guess what my son's been up to? Salacious rumour." And then your judgment is, you know what I'll do? I'm new at council here. I'm going to email 3 other councillors and I'm sure nothing will go wrong. And then years later it's gone wrong and everything's turning against you because it's a dirtbag fucking move to do. I know, I'll put out a video. That'll fix it.
Where? That's my thumbnail.
This is what's birthed this.
And so,
It's
look,
the
the way
least self-aware piece of video I've ever seen.
I haven't seen this, but I'm getting vibes of this is now a comedy piece of 7 days, and this is my apology. Is that basically what
I'm getting vibes of I'm in danger.
Okay.
That's what that
All
face
right.
says to me.
All right. I mean, in all fairness, it's the apology to Tory. Tory, if you say play it, we'll play it. Here it comes.
Over the last week, there's been a concerted campaign against me and my bid for the Wellington mayoralty. An email that I sent privately over 2.5 years ago to 3 of my council colleagues was passed to media. This was done deliberately to discredit me. I regret writing it and regret sharing it with people whom I thought trustworthy. It is unfortunate that a private message has been used in such a political way.
So at the moment, there's no. He said he regrets writing it, but at the moment, there's no. It was my fault. It's all about Chewie. No. He's the victim. He's the victim so far.
This attack on me and our team of Independent Together candidates is designed to undermine our campaign. Because of this blatant political attack, I was recently abused when walking to a meeting in Johnsonville.
Oh, Tory, can you empathise with being abused in public?
Oh, the poor man.
Oh my God!
Personally, I've also been verbally abused in Johnsonville before, but I think that was unrelated.
I want to make it crystal clear, this did not start with me or our team. I have not and will not conduct personal attacks against other candidates in the selection.
What?
I will play the ball, not the person. Dirty politics will not be tolerated. I will call it out.
Got it.
Yep.
Sadly, other teams are more focused on political games than making Wellington affordable. The political parties are determined to keep control of the city and spending ratepayers' money. Our goal is to have truly independent candidates with a wide range of skills and experience running the council. We've been running a positive, informative campaign, and that's reflected by the people coming to our roadshow events. Interestingly enough, no mainstream media has attended any of them.
Fuck, I wonder why.
Our pillars are about reducing the rates burden, getting the council back to basics, and ending party politics around the council table. This is our focus, not the smear campaigns that are consuming the media attention.
Hey, I'm still waiting for the apology. This is the apology. We've only got 14 seconds left, and I'm still waiting for the apology.
I'm sure it's coming, and it'll be heartfelt.
All right, here it comes.
I want to thank all the people who have sent me messages of support over the last few days.
Mum, Dad.
These mean a lot to me and our team. I look forward to seeing you on the campaign trail as we build the momentum to take back our city.
What?
Yeah.
Where's the apology? Now hang on, Chewie. This is the apology video.
Yes. Yeah.
But it was sold as the apology. I have to apologise.
He hyped this up. Like there was a premiere or something. Like I said, least self-aware video ever.
I have to say something as well. That did nothing to change my mind on my belief that he's a fucking moron. Like, and I just mean, look, I mean, I don't want to IQ shame someone, if that is such a thing, but I wouldn't let that man run a corner dairy. No offense, corner dairy owners. I wouldn't let that man run a barbecue in his own fucking backyard from listening to the way he communicates and what he's saying. It honestly looks like there's nothing behind those very well manicured teeth. Man, I honestly, Whanau, I hadn't seen that, so that's shocking. Oh, please, Wellington, don't vote for him.
From Pat. Well, this is part of the thing, though, right? He's been voted in before.
And before this week, he was growing in popularity, where because Andrew Little's campaign has probably been a little tamer than we would have liked. I've found it a little bit disappointing. Ray was being seen as the change candidate and was very exciting, very, very lippy, but none of that problematic behaviour was apparent. So people thought he was a nice man. Working across the table from him for the last 2.5 years, had intimate knowledge of how he worked and what he didn't know. I just couldn't let that slide. So he's now revealing, who he really is, and I'm really pleased.
But change. This is the thing. The change candidate, yeah. But that's like a devolution. It's like you can have good change or you can have that kind of change.
Correct.
I mean, I know nothing about this man. I know nothing about his campaign. As I said, I wouldn't trust him to kick his way out of a wet paper bag from the 2 interactions I've seen, which is Plunkett ran circles in him, and that's fucking saying something.
Yes.
And that his own video right there, Chewie.
Yes. And the concerning thing is he's not the only one who's running at the moment. He's one of many, and that's where I really want to plug the Paul Barlow's documentary, which really shows the web of these individuals across Aotearoa, which will eventually find its way up into central government with the ACT Party. I feel, as someone who's in the middle of it, it's so much worse than I thought. And it's really problematic, and it really does have a risk to our democracy.
Hey, just to sort of springboard and maybe rewind a little bit here. Back when central government, what was it they did? They appointed a commissioner to overlook the Wellington Council. Observer, right. At the time, I thought it was really interesting that you kind of just went, yep, okay, I'm fine with that. Just really quickly. Is it because of that these characters that you've got on your council that it was just like, yeah, we do need someone from the outside to see this?
Yeah, and he has. So, I mean, at the time, to be honest, I was seen as probably the problematic mayor, and it was chaotic, and whatever. So I thought, okay, I'm just going to lean in. I'll be a good player here, do this in good faith. They did overstep the government. There was actually no criteria that we had breached to need an observer. That was a political decision, but whatever. But actually, once I met with the minister and we talked about who we might be getting, I thought, actually, this could be useful. And he's been incredible. He will recommend to the minister certain changes to help us manage, like a code of conduct review. How do we manage problematic elected members like this? Because we currently do not have the tools to do that.
Yeah, right.
You know what? We haven't been able to eject Ray for sexual harassment. Like, imagine that in a corporate environment. That person would have been fired yesterday.
100%.
But we can't do it.
Yeah. Hey, Tory, kind of one last question, because you're looking to be elected to a ward, correct? Does that mean, should Ray Chung win, you will be reporting to him as mayor?
Yes.
And what is that thought like for you?
Horrific. And but that's why I've unofficially endorsed Andrew, to tell my supporters, hey, we can trust Andrew. I'll help push him to the left a bit more. It's all good. Having Ray Chung as the mayoralty, in my opinion, would be disastrous for the city. If I had to report to him, I can't even fathom what that would be like, because I've worked with him, and I know, looking at Paul's documentary, what these people are like. But look, I'd fight hard. I'd fight for for Wellington. You just do your part.
And the one last thing from me, I guess, is if you ever want to see an advert, Whanau, for participating in your local election and not being one of the 60% that sit it out, just look at this. There is your advert to convince you to participate in your local body elections. 41% last time around, 41%. So there was a famous French philosopher back in the 1700s that basically said you get the government you deserve. A lot of that's got to do with being involved. He didn't say it in English, but I'm just kind of dumbing it down for you folks. But this is your chance to get involved, to make a decision, to investigate your candidates, and actually be a part of democracy, so that in 2.5 years from now, or 2 years from now, we're not talking about that terrible decision made in Invercargill or Hamilton or Wellington or wherever else. So, Ray Chung is a lesson to us all. Ray Chung is a lesson that you shouldn't tell every child that you could grow up to be mayor, because some people shouldn't be.
Correct.
Chewie, you want to wrap up with anything?
Just a little bit off topic and a little bit of a tangent, but since you were in the room with Bish, who was telling every council just to focus on the core things of, I guess, rubbish collection and car parks, was there any mention of council's role in social housing?
No.
Not surprised.
Tory, anything you want to leave us with before you head off into the, I don't know, wherever you're going to go next?
Just everyone get out and vote. Volunteer for campaigns and candidates that you believe in, because they do need help. We know money's tight, so donations are probably difficult, but for candidates, it is a bit of a fight because of individuals like Ray.
And just before we let you go, there's a lot of love for you in the chat. Tory, you are a wahine toa. Love you. Bravo, Tory. There's lots of comments in here about what we're talking about. We'll do those at the end, though. Thank you, Tory, for everything and who you are, all of it. And there's going to be a ton more in there, but I'm only just finding the ones that are easily locatable. So thanks for jumping in again. Thanks for being a part of us. Love to have you on, and I'm sure we'll talk to you again before the what dates is the local body? It's about 5 months away, 4 months away?
3, 2.5 even.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Jeez.
Yeah, it's close.
All right. We'll stay in touch. I'm sure we'll talk to you again before that. All good?
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Anytime,
Thank
Tory.
you so much.
Thanks for coming on.